But
Oh,
one player we have talked a lot about thus far is Jalen Milroe. Roll
yes.
Tide. Um, there have been talks on this show in particular. We think the Heisman is stupid, but
Mm-hmm.
it is a big deal.
Useless piece of metal.
So people have said Milroe might be a top contender for Heisman. He finished pretty high in the votes last year. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on that?
Finished six. Had probably was I would say him and Blake Corum towards the end of last year were the best two players in college football after the midway stretch at the LSU game. I think Tommy Reese is like, look, I am holding this kid back. I'm just gonna let this kid do him. And what did he go out and do against LSU? He had 4 touchdowns on the ground, couldn't stop him. Um, look, I will be the first one to him, and I even admitted this last year. I thought this kid was just not a good quarterback. I thought he was a fantastic athlete, great kid, great human being. I've heard nothing but good things about the guy, but clearly there were some reserves about him because he couldn't read defenses or he's holding on the ball too long and not being
Oh,
comfortable enough running and coming to the realization now there's more Tommy Reese and the
yeah.
lack of a good offensive line last year more than anything. This year has been
Center.
it's been proof. Having a center who can actually get the ball to you, having a good an offensive line who can actually give you time to read your second and third read, having a good running game with Jam Miller and Justice Haynes, having a coordinator who actually believes in your ability to throw the ball. Look at that throw that he had to Bernard in the Wisconsin game. That was a dot
Insane.
to the quarter of the end zone. And yeah, you can say like, oh, all he can do is throw the go route and this and that. No, if you go back and watch some of the throws he's doing, it's very vanilla right now on purpose. We're not showing a lot. Our first 3 games, I feel like we have held back the playbook a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Like it's been very vanilla. There haven't
Mm-hmm.
been any trick plays. There haven't been any like, oh wow, that was crazy. I've never seen that before. Look out for this week. I think Milroe's gonna have a
Yeah.
party. I think he knows that his legs are his best weapon, and I think Kirby knows that as well. I expect him to have a spy on him, maybe even 2 at all times, and his arm is going to be what has to get it done. I think Milroe has a chance this week. And here's the thing too. I've never been the biggest Heisman guy because I've seen guys who have won who shouldn't have, and vice versa. I think if Milroe goes out and puts on a show like we know he can, you got to shoot him up number one. I mean, right now, I think the quarterback winner of this game solidifies himself up in a top spot right now because if Carson Beck goes out and does the same, lights it up, you got to put him number one. I think Travis Hunter right now has to be
Mm,
number one the way he's been playing on both sides of the
yeah.
ball. But Jalen Milroe has a chance to put a vice grip on that thing until Tennessee in a few weeks.